Dale?
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing well. It is a cool, crisp 93 degrees today, and I just feel the nice, sipping, cool air.
Yes, it is balmy instead of hot. So there you go.
I never thought I'd be happy for 90s again. And, of course, it's too little too late. Next week, we're going to be suffering again. So
Be warm
prep,
again.
Yeah, you just got to prep your wallet for the PG&E bill. So let's move away from that and talk about rates. We're seeing about a second week of downward interest rates this week as well. When it gets the final numbers, we're probably going to see another third week of declining interest rates, which is really a nice thing. Don't know if you listened to the Fed conversation. Jerome Powell basically came out and said, well, we're definitely moving closer, and I feel more confident than I ever have before that we are going to see rate cuts at some point this year. So,
let's see. When is the election? November when?
I've decided politics are out of my vocabulary for the next few weeks.
Right. I'm guessing we'll see that rate cut around September-ish.
Yeah, we will say that the last few days have definitely done some stuff in the market based on optimism and outlook, and I will leave it at that. We did, however, point out the difference between a 30 and a 15, and you can see we did have an even bigger extension between the two. I think last week we were maybe 0.75% different. Now we're even wider. So take a look at 15. If you haven't seen that video, check out last week's. Dale?
Yeah, typically your difference between 30 and 15 is about 0.5%, but we're running better than that, which is great.
Yeah, it's really something to look at, and it's not double payments. Check out last week's video. Dale, myths of a down payment. I don't know how often you have a conversation based on this, but I just had one, and it's compelled me that we need to talk about this today. These are the three most common myths of down payment that I encounter every day. And let's start with the first one. You need 20% down. How often do you hear this?
Well, then I guess I'm never buying a house.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, it's false.
Of course it is.
It's just patently false. All government-based loans, conventional FHA, VA, USDA, they do have minimum statutory investments, aka the down payment. Conventional's 5, FHA 3.5, and then VA, USDA are at 0. So, Dale, where the heck is 20% coming from?
Well, it's got to. I mean, basically, what people are thinking is, in order to not have PMI, yes, you do have to put 20% down.
And what's PMI?
PMI, private mortgage insurance. Now, every loan calls it something a little bit different. VA is a funding fee. FHA is a mortgage insurance premium. But it's all a monthly cost where the lender goes out and purchases insurance to protect them in case of default. And that's because of the little down. But yeah, I mean, at VA, USDA 0, FHA 3.5, conventional 5, you do not need 20%. And the cool thing about conventional is once you've owned the home 6 months, then you can use the new appreciated value to maybe even get rid of the PMI sooner. So,
and that's with refinancing, correct?
Yeah. Well, refinancing and or you can apply to the lender to remove the PMI. That's after 2 years. But still, yes, you can buy a home without 20% down. And in fact, as you know, many loans that we have done over the years, people have not had 20% down.
Yeah, it is a little bit more rare than usual as home prices go up. So let's move into the second potential myth. FHA has the lowest down payment. I mean, right off the bat, what's wrong with that, Dale?
Well, there is a 3% down conventional loan, but I'll let you talk about that because it's a first-time homebuyer kind of loan. But again, we just learned from the last slide, VA and USDA are no money down. So FHA definitely does not have the lowest down payment.
Yeah, so if you're a veteran, 0 down. If you're not a veteran, maybe you are in a rural county that has your income is supported by the income limits and also the debt to income ratios, you qualify for USDA, great. You can do that. But assuming neither of those are an option for you, there is a conventional 3% down. And here are some differences. FHA is at 3.5%. That's flat, standard, statutory down payment. For all buyers, pretty much good credit and bad. They don't need to be first-time home buyers. This is a huge part of FHA that's a myth. I've actually talked with a lot of buyers and a lot of agents that think FHA is for first-time home buyers. It is not. They are more relaxed on bankruptcy as well. There are no income limits. You could make $1,000 million trillion and still get an FHA loan. And of course, mortgage insurance is at a flat 0.55%. We talked on this also previous week if you want to watch that more in depth on FHA. But on the conventional side, yes, the minimum statutory is 5%, but if you're a first-time home buyer, it's actually 3%. And there are better waivers if you have 80% AMI, area median income, or less. There are higher loan limits per county, and there is mortgage insurance, but it's based off of your credit, your debt to income ratio, your down payment, and of course, your income. So you're not out of the woods and you're stuck with FHA. You could still go with an even better option. So, yeah.
Yep.
All right, now
stuff.
The last one. Last one. Down payment affects DTI. Is it true or is it false, Dale?
It would be false.
Yeah.
So, the down payment assistance programs, they vary. You've got two options here that I'll let you explain them. But the reality is the debt to income is a debt to income. And each loan has its own qualifications for a debt to income ratio.
Yes. Now, we will say with option one, this is actually true. That's a fully amortizing second, meaning it's paid back during the life of your first mortgage. So if you borrow any amount of money on the down payment assistance and you're going to have to pay back something every month, obviously your debt to income ratio is going to be affected. And the rate matches the rate for the second matches the rate for the first. Option two is where we have this falsehood. You can do what's called a silent second. This is only due when you go to sell or refinance, which means the note is not called upon every month. It's only called upon when you sell or refinance. And the rate is only 1% on the second. So what this effectively means is you can borrow whatever you need for the down payment, typically 3.5%, and it's not going to change your debt to income ratio. So I don't know about you, Dale, but just the commonality is if somebody needs down payment assistance, their debt to income ratio is likely right on the razor's edge of qualification.
Right.
So a silent second is a killer deal, especially with a 1% rate.
Yeah, obviously, as we've said many, many times, if you have your own down payment, you're much better off. But if you don't, this is a great opportunity because of the low interest rate on the second, and since there's no payment on it, obviously your debt to income ratio doesn't change.
Yep. So those are the three myths of a down payment. Of course, there are others. If you can think of any, give us a call, shoot us a text, email, and we'd be glad to go through it with you. But no, you don't need 20% down. No, FHA is not the best option all the time for down payment, and down payment assistance does not actually affect your DTI unless you want it to. So hopefully this was helpful. Dale, thank you so much for your time.
You bet. Have a great day.
You as well. Take care.
Okay. Bye now.